checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes!
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnop.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, Radford pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It is a very brisk Tuesday, to say the least, here on the program. Glad to have you with us. Hope you're okay. Hope everybody survived Snowmageddon number 2. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Love to talk to the peeps every morning, or the Professional Incorporated text line. Marva in Miami joins us. She has no idea what 22 degrees. She has no memory of what 22 degrees is like. I'll explain to her what we're dealing with, and I think she got confused when I posted the weather on Facebook. She didn't understand what the snow was, so I explained that to her. You know, because she lives down in Miami, and it's 73 degrees this morning. Ryan Seigla from the Boundary Corner podcast will join us. David Smith, I think he's back in town, will join us. We'll talk some NFL. Lots of controversy about the NFL. A couple of different games we talked about yesterday and their outcomes. The drop pass in the Ravens game that they didn't call a touchdown. And then the field goal by the Raiders. Got a lot of play yesterday. National shows starting to jump on this because at some point you can't ignore it any longer. And then Mike Burnop joins us. We got a lot going on today. Another great cavalcade of guests. And we had a great time yesterday. Thank you so much. I got great reaction from having Joy Williams on. She had a great time. Thank you for making her feel welcome. The Radford University guard who had 36 points in the big win and hit some big shots in the win against Navy last week. So everybody's taking exams this week, and then they get to become just basketball players. What's up, Happy? HC Cappy? H Cappy? What's up, Paul? Good morning. Christopher Lester, good morning. Steve, how are you? Good morning. Good to see everybody in chat. Hey, Opal, how are you? Good morning. Here in Reiner, for me, I can report a happy snow update. We didn't get but maybe 1 3/4 inches here. I know there were places it was strange. I was seeing people in Christiansburg. Hey, Hannah, wait, hang on. Hanani. Places in Christiansburg were posting. I was watching Keeping Up with Kevin Myatt on X, and people were posting 3-4 inches in Christiansburg. You know, we're literally 5-10 minutes from Christiansburg here in Reiner, but we only had like 1 3/4 inches here. So it was great. It's awesome. Blacksburg, some places were saying 4 inches plus. Roanoke, 4 inches plus. Like, wow, we got lucky here. Creed is in. He was already out this morning. Thank you for asking. Oh, boy, he gets frustrated because the ground, of course, is snow covered and he can't hunt. So he's just like, he tries to stay out as long as he can. I see you, Paul. Got it. Yeah, you know what? The bowl system is dead. This whole thing is going to change. Remember when we used to get, you know, especially after we've been off for a while and around Christmas into New Year's, and how excited you would feel with the bowl slates? There was always usually a lot of bowls on like the 30th, New Year's Eve. Good morning, Rodney. And then New Year's Day was just a cornucopia of just bliss. You just sit around all day watching all the great bowls and guys who gave a damn. And those days are gone. It doesn't matter now. You can thank ESPN for a lot of it. College football, the so-called leadership of college football, when there's absolutely none. And those days are gone. I think the bowls will be dissipating very soon as we know it. I think the playoff system will be blown up again. And this all is just taken away from all of us as fans. The whole system is just, it's a microcosm of where we are, and it's all about capturing as much money as possible. Everything about college football is messed up. There's not one positive thing about it right now. If your team is in the playoff and you've had a good year, you're going to say, oh, no, it's fine. I get it. It's your own personal interest. But if you're just looking at it from an honest standpoint, objectively, just as a fan of sports and college football, you realize how absolutely screwed up the whole thing is. Every piece of it is messed up. And no one is going to run out of their way to fix it. Disney's not going to try to fix it because they're making so much money. What's up, Food Bite? Good morning. Manish, we're in Southwest Virginia is where we're locating today. By the way, we're up to 11 international show subscribers. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Trying to get up to 1,000 here. 11 international subscribers. That's pretty cool. 11 different countries now represented as BDST fan base. Notre Dame, I believe, has drawn a line. And no cricket here, Manish. If you want to explain cricket to us, that would be great. That would be awesome. Notre Dame's going to leave their affiliation with the Atlantic Coast Conference. I mean, it's going to happen. I think it's over now. Not that I'm sure many of you are not going to care. It's going to hurt the ACC in the short term. Of course, the ACC is going to change completely coming up when the next phase of realignment comes. The final, I think, realignment that we're going to see. But Pete Bavacqua yesterday went on the Dan Patrick Show and said that they crossed the line with their promotion of Miami against Notre Dame, who's not a full-time member. This is, and Joseph, I know you're a Notre Dame fan, and we're not trying to pile on here, but this shows you how out of whack the whole Notre Dame relationship is with everything else. Paul, yes, 10 teams have now declined bowl games. 10. up, Rochelle Buela. Bowls are pointless games. You're giving up those 15 practices. Notre Dame opting out of their bowl game, in my opinion, was to intentionally hurt ESPN, who was to make probably about $25 million off of their bowl game. But they've had this status so long that they have been, like next year, for instance, when as long as they finish in the top 12, because they're Notre Dame, they're automatically in the playoff, regardless of how they got there. Doesn't matter. You have to win a certain amount of games. ESPN has once and for all finally been exposed, I think, to even the people who tried to hang on and defend them for what they are. They're nothing but just an absolute political tool because they are from Disney. They're nothing more than access media shields. They're not worried about covering sports. They don't care about any part of that. They all have their directives, and they've been pushing this whole thing with 5 SEC teams. From the Black Ice runway of Route 8 to the Route 100 West Traffic Jam in Palm Coast, BDST is live and online. Hey, Boris, how are you? Glad to hook you up with Prometheus about your building. Paul says, my biggest gripe on Notre Dame is this is a school based on religion, yet they are doing basically unethical and non-religious things. Indy forever, number 13. True, Notre Dame doesn't gain anything from playing in the playoffs. Well, I mean, they gain from having a chance to win a national championship. You mean the bowls? Yeah, they got nothing to gain from playing in the bowl game. But they've been given free will for how long now? Let's take the other side of it real quick. And Notre Dame looks really bad here. Let's just say it the way it is. Notre Dame, Bavacqua, they look really bad here. They look really bad here. But they don't care because this was a decision that was made because of the backing of the people who have helped make Notre Dame what they are. And we've said all along that Notre Dame has more power than anybody else in college football, even ESPN. And here was ESPN helping, in their eyes, along with the ACC, stripping them, right, of their power. And they are not prepared for someone standing in their way. Let's just say it the way it is. Correct, Rochelle. You said it well. I mean, this is all on ESPN. They choose the playoff. I mean, you can sit there and talk about the committee. Just everybody just stop. It's network driven, like Coach Elmo said yesterday. The whole thing's controlled by that. So Notre Dame, did I think they did enough to get in? They didn't beat anybody of any consequence. They lost to a team that got in ahead of them. Yes, the ACC had a graphic up highlighting Miami and then putting down Notre Dame. They put up that graphic. Did you see it? Who has the better resume? And they had all these arrows pointing at Miami. They didn't have any at Notre Dame. They didn't name the teams, and that's what got Bavacqua and everybody so upset. And then Jim Phillips issued a statement saying that there was no bias. We never did, blah, 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 blah. So this whole thing has gotten to the point of ridiculousness. Some teams are going to have a month off now to get ready for the playoff. And I got to be honest, the college football postseason, for me, it's not must-watch TV. It's not anything that – I'm going to watch JMU and pull like hell for them against Oregon because of my guy, Matt. But I don't care. You know, it's just so contrived. the way Alabama was protected, they moved them up a slot. And that's what Bavacqua, Notre Dame, who I think has every right to look at that one particular area. And I don't know about this whole promotion from the ACC over them. But they went out of their way. Everybody ate the same had the same corporate memo at ESPN to make sure you made sure Alabama was protected. Got Alabama. And a 3-loss team is in there. And then there are ridiculous empty arguments about BYU's loss in the Big 12 title game, as opposed to Alabama, who looked they got beat up worse than BYU. What, they have 60 total yards of offense? 3 yards of rushing or whatever it was? Because they beat Georgia in the regular season? Okay. Yeah, minus 3 yards rush. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I agree with you, Joe. I think Notre Dame's biggest beef is the whole Alabama thing. And ACC got caught up in it too. They just decided they were going to go off on the whole thing. Big Ten guy told me that the wheels are going to be in motion for Notre Dame to end their, you don't want to call it a part-time relationship. They're all inclusive except for football. That they're going to end that relationship. They feel like now they're going to have some kind of legal stance. They're going to come up with a case to come up with a legal stance that they won't have to pay any kind of fee to leave. But teams are easily opting out of bowls. They're easily giving up these practices. Not just teams with new coaches. It means nothing. It means nothing. You have 5 and 7 teams playing, 41 bowl games, so 82 teams get in, and now you can't even fill those because nobody wants to play them. And it's all because of the one word. It's all greed. It's all money. And that's where we are. And there's nothing else that needs to be said about it. Yes, Rochelle, you are correct. You are correct. I still don't think Notre Dame – a lot of people are speculating now Notre Dame's going to try to join the Big Ten. I don't think so. Notre Dame is very proud of their independence. I think you'd have a lot of people turn on administration there. That independence to them is the most sacred thing. Joseph, you know. And that's what's gotten them in this quandary. And we said this back when the playoff system was created. If they really wanted to force Notre Dame's hand, all they would have had to do was put a stipulation in there that, hey, if you're not part of a conference, you can't be part of the playoff. Then Notre Dame would have had to have joined a league. You see, this was done by all the leadership because it's all about the networks and NBC. So then you get into their money, right? Good morning, Danielle Barris. Lots of new folks in here today. Let's hope they're legitimate people. So I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it. How do you feel about it as college football fans? It just kind of drained at this point. I'm not looking forward to any of the bowls. I'm not looking forward to the playoff. It's all – I hope JMU performs admirably in their game. They're the heaviest underdog, obviously, of the first games. But I don't have a sense of excitement. Everything's so contrived. There's such a fight at the end. It shows you how messed up the whole postseason plan has been in college football since I can remember. At least back when I was growing up and many of you were growing up, you didn't have any playoff. And at the end of the year, who was ranked number one? You had the AP and the UPI poll. Remember that? Then we had the BCS. You know it's bad when the BCS is something people are pining for. I've seen that brought up a lot by some of these pundits on X. Yeah, exactly. They don't want, and they, and Notre Dame's been given that luxury to have all the money from their contract. They're not going to join a league. But keep in mind this now, the ACC, and I know people were very angry. I made the post yesterday. Again, over 15,000 interactions from one post on the Facebook page. I wish we could get those people to come over here and subscribe to the actual show. And many people were saying good riddance from, ACC fans. And the ACC is not going to look the same here in about 2 years, 2.5 years. Now, Chris is excited about the playoffs. Good for you, man. I'm glad you are. I'm glad people still have that. I'm not. I am not. What's up, Prince? Paul says the thing that is also BS about the whole thing, when was the last time Notre Dame won a national championship? 88. Before that, 77. Yeah, they have not. Lou Holtz was the last one. But I think what you're seeing here is entitlement being challenged, right? And in any walk of life, when entitlement is being challenged, that's when you have the stomping of feet and you have the temper tantrum that Bavacca was throwing yesterday on the Dan Patrick show. Right? Prince, we are in Southwest Virginia talking everything college football playoff this morning. So Notre Dame has had this entitlement. They've been given free reign. They have not been a national title team. So what are we talking about here? Looking at 88. Help me out with math. Is that 37 years, 38 years? It's a long time. It's like a little longer than the whole Dallas Cowboys situation. Cowboys was in 94, which is 31 years. So what we're seeing is Notre Dame having their feelings hurt because they did not get what they wanted, and they're used to getting what they wanted. This is not unlike a child whose parents just give them whatever they want, and then they finally put their foot down, and then the kid stomps their feet. No, mine. You can't do that. Now, I'm not defending ESPN because they are a disgusting organization, but let me just say that it hadn't been right for Notre Dame to be able to operate as a separate entity either. All right? So it's a mess. The whole thing is an absolute mess. An absolute mess. It really is. An absolute mess. So I'm glad, Chris, that you still are excited because I am definitely not. I don't care at all about this whole postseason. There's not one intriguing matchup other than I want to see Notre Dame go up to JMU go up to Autzen Stadium and hang in there, and Bob Chesney's final game and put forth a great effort. That's what I want to see. That's correct, Joseph. If Notre Dame had gotten in and Bama had not gotten in, then it would be the same thing, and then they would be all over ESPN. Wait a minute, you're our buddies. You're our pals. But you see, ESPN is not pals with Notre Dame, so therefore they were pushing Alabama. Greg Sankey is probably the biggest one to blame for the fall of college football, the SEC commissioner. It's the sport, the second most watched sport in this country on television. But it has lost any kind of integrity that it ever had. Now, people keep going back because you're going to pull for your school and you can separate the overall entity to the reality of week-to-week action. I get that. But, man, it's a mess. And their lies don't work anymore, right? It's all greed. It's all out there exposed now. There's not a whole lot they can do. just like politics and political coverage and the lies that are told. And then you just bury your head in the sand. Sports has become so intertwined, covered the same way. The sports media is just as corrupt as the access media. But no, I don't think there's any must-watch postseason, right, in college football. And I'm just talking about from me and my perspective. If you are, that's great. That's great. But what's going to happen today, right? Nothing yesterday but banter back and forth. Everybody's still ripping the system. No matter what resumes you put side by side, BYU, who's taken this very well, they have as big of an argument as Notre Dame, if not more. You go back to the Herb Street, just ridiculous hypocrisy of saying that, hey, you got to punish BYU because they got beat up pretty good by Texas Tech, and ignoring how just absolutely thrashed Alabama was by Georgia's defense. Absolutely thrashed. So it's a mess, but they know that product and consumer will blindly go back to product and spend money, so they don't really care. They don't really care. Shoveling sweatshirt. Fortunately, no shoveling here in Reiner. I got lucky. Like I said, we didn't get 2 inches here. I have the perfect flat spot outside that I can always measure. And we didn't even get 2 inches. I know a lot of people got a lot. Felt like Roanoke had a lot. Christiansburg had 4 inches, some places I saw. Opal, how many did you get? Opal loves her snow. Not I. Not I. So we got kind of lucked out. We had a sleet pocket. I think the air pocket, for some reason here in Reiner, was a little warmer. We had about 2 or 3 hours of sleet coming down. And, of course, sleet means that it's warmer because you have the freezing rain, the liquid precipitation that freezes on the surfaces, the already frozen precipitation, which is sleet, and then the extremely frozen precipitation and snow. Opal said, well, that's a loaded question. All right. Oh, well. Hey-oh. Opal, you got to save that for the late night edition. So, Opal, how much snow did you receive where you are? Thanks to Family Fencing. 540-200-8294. Check them out at familyfencingnrb.com. McClellan Chiropractic. Mark Hunley. I got to get him his T-shirt this week. McClellan Chiropractic Clinic, right off of Peppers Ferry Road. Go see Travis Williams at Professional Door Incorporated. They are the best in residential and commercial garage doors. Absolutely the best, right across from New River Community College. I want to thank everybody at Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. Find out who we're going to have this week on the show. I think I'm finding out today from their wonderful organization. Charles Lee and Company, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. Thank you, Charles, for my home remaining warm and energy consumption responsible. 5 inches in Richmond. Wow, really? Amen, Paul. Yeah, no power outages. Yes, that's the best news. BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford. He specializes in trust and estate planning. And the question was, are you happy that Brent Pry is back as the defensive coordinator? And we're about 50-50 right now. It's kind of cool. It's like 22-20, 22 against, 24 fur. So we'll keep an eye on that one. That one feels like it's going to be extremely close. Thanks to National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of BDST. I've been with them for 35 years. We've thanked them for their support here on the program. The Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com. Bob Christ, 11 at gmail.com, Christ. And be sure to reach out to him. And if you have a school team or church group, somebody who need to raise some money, reach out to them and let them help you out. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl. And congrats to Sarah Williams. She bowled a 288 and a 271 last weekend. They have an NRV nightlife coming to the Super Bowl from December 12th, or starting on December the 12th. It's going to run from 11 to 1 a.m. You want to find out more, call Amanda or Terry, 540-382-5525. And Lawson's Mobile Home at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg, 540-381-8011. Manufactured home parts such as windows, plumbing, doors, and installation. And thanks to Harvey's GM in Radford, they are the best. Brad Harvey will find your vehicle, whatever it might be, and they have a terrific service department as well. I hope not, Morris. Maybe reboot your system. I'm not having any issues here. Usually when that happens, I get a little notice here because I've had to reboot the show during the show. Opal said they got 1 to 2 inches in Pearisburg, but it melted quickly. Yeah, so in other words, we were kind of in the same pocket then, yeah, because we got just a little less here, and it melted. The driveway's clear. The roads never got covered. But, yeah, it melted. Yeah, there's going to be some ice this morning. I was a little surprised. Schools are all closed. So Radford closed yesterday, which surprised me. And then today they're open early, and then people are complaining. I thought maybe they would open a little later, like at 10 o'clock. And I saw so many complaints. What's up, Erica? How are you? I'm good. I hope you are. So, yeah, we'll have to head out to the workplace as soon as we're done here. I'll let you know about the roads. I'll post on the Facebook page. The Facebook page since last Saturday has over 100,000 interactions. Amazing. Now, if those people would just subscribe. 100,000. Several hundred shares of content. It's good. It's good. Very, very good. And if you want a T-shirt, hit me up. Great Christmas gift, $20. If I can get them to you here, $30 if I have to ship them. And I don't mind shipping them. Marva in Miami going to join us here momentarily. And you're right, Wayne. I'm looking forward. Marva's got to be very excited about her Blue Devils winning the ACC football championship. I'm not sure. She has 2 emails, so I have to send her 2 invitations. High maintenance Marva. Because I know one works sometimes more than the other, so I'm going to send them both to her right now. Is anybody else just completely and utterly not into Christmas this year? Joseph says, I know Franklin and Pryor are buddies and coach together. I wonder if and when Virginia Tech's defense doesn't do well. Yeah, my whole thing is this. Look, I like Brent Price, so I'm glad. Secondarily, I don't still understand it. We'll get Burnop's take on it. It seems strange. It seems strange from a Brent Pry decision. You got fired by this school. You got ripped apart by the fan base. And to go back to that school, you must really love that school. Now you have to alter the whole salary buyout scenario and come up with an agreeable. It's just, I don't know. The more I've thought about it, the more it seems like a strange move. I hope it works out for him. I do. Because like I say, I like the dude. Is their friendship that deep? Maybe if he's just focused on defense now, he can be that guy. Some guys are just better coordinators. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Some guys are just better coordinators. And a lot of coaches, especially in the NFL, recognize that early on. They may get a head coaching chance. And like Vic Fangio is considered one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL, but he wasn't a good head coach. Vance Joseph, both were coaches of the Broncos. Vance Joseph has turned into a good defense again in Denver, but he wasn't a good head coach. That's okay. Not everybody's made out to be a head coach. Morris says, could the IT issues be my fat finger computer incompetence? Only the shadow knows. I usually chalk that up to me, Morris. Yeah, I'm with you. It happens to me a lot. Now, sometimes it'll be actual something going on, but most of the time I'll go, I did that, didn't I? Or I didn't do that. So I get you. I get you. Those of you asking on text, no, I haven't created the BDST Bowl Mania thing. I'll do it. Wayne says, I'm hopeful maybe that Pry realizes that I just didn't do well as a head coach, so I want to show him and leave on good terms. I think it's a strange hire. I mean, I think it's strange. On the surface, it's a strange hire. I know Franklin had his meetings yesterday with the coaching staff in place. I'm hearing there's going to be very little of any retention of anyone other than Pry. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Paul, what about that? Philip Rivers is signing on. He may have done it last night or he's going to today. He's going to sign on to the Colts practice squad. Daniel Jones is out for a year. The rookie they drafted is out for the year. And they have nobody. Opal says, I can't believe Pry was okay going from prom queen to princess. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just feels like from a personal decision, wouldn't you have a little more pride than that? I don't know. But it's going to come down to this. It's going to come down to how much talent after the portal's tech going to have now after this roster is flipped completely over. I mean, you got to have all these conversations now, right? With the current staff, you've got to tell current team members, we don't really want you here. You're going to have those conversations about we need you to get you in the portal. And, there's going to be a lot of turnover, a heck of a lot of turnovers coming. And that's okay. When you go 3-9, that's okay. And how James Franklin and whatever staff members he has in place views the talent on tech roster might differ from what anybody else thinks. And really all that matters is what they think about it. All right? He's the head coach now. It doesn't really matter what the previous staff thought. Doesn't matter what they thought they saw in recruiting. But it just matters about what they see and how they evaluate. Yeah, how many kids does Rivers have? Does he have like 8? Like seriously, or is it more than that? 8 or 9? So we'll see when the unveiling comes. We'll see. But I think when you make this kind of commitment to a guy like James Franklin, he's got 10? Wow. It's a lot. When you make this kind of commitment, I think fans are just going to have to swallow hard and go, okay, whatever they want to do, let's just give them a shot. Can't be any worse, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but look at the last 7-8 years. And what's it looked like since the back end of Fuente's second year to now? So we shall see. But, Coach is going to want to have his new staff in place. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know, Paul. I've heard the opposite about the staff, but we'll see. Most of the time, new coaches have their own strength coach. Or if they're going to keep an existing strength coach, that's usually one of the first meetings they have. You have to be on the same page, really. Those conversations run pretty deep. So we'll see. I hope Jarrett stays. I do. Hope you're right. Mickey's done a great job. Got 10 children. Wow. Good for him, man. Good for his wife. Heck with him. Good for his wife. 10? Man. Yeah, maybe he does need the extra funds. Maybe the NFL pension's not working. You got one more, yeah. Yeah, he can have a starting 11, can he? Opal says Pride needs to do all the interviews and press conferences. He's so much more friendly than Franklin. Well, anything like that goes through Franklin. So anything that you see or hear is going to be very selective, very selective. I still find it interesting that, and I'll ask Damien about it tomorrow. Damien sort of let nor anybody from Tech Sideline has written anything about Brent Pry. I find that a little strange, unless it was updated last night. Did anything happen last night? Has anybody seen anything? Y'all let me know. I mean, I could look here real quickly and ask. You are correct, Wayne. Hey-o! Yeah, you are correct. Let's see. Andy Bitter. Nope. Let me see if DS has anything. No, just retweets of the Matt Zenith report. I find that interesting. Like, why would you not let the local media who's dedicated to you cover that event? That seems strange to me. Yeah, Chiefs lose again last night. Chargers are the best team in the AFC West, and I say that as a Broncos lifer. Remember that the Eagles have only beaten the Chiefs. Yeah, Jalen Hurts looks terrible. That whole organization is not right now. That team's not right. The Eagles. Yep. Yeah, Manny Diaz has won an ACC championship. Got fired from Miami. He wins it at Duke. Wow. Crazy stuff. And what a perfect segue joining us now on the program. It's Marva in Miami, and all we're doing is talking about her beloved Duke Blue Devils. Oh, look at that. She's even wearing Duke colors. Congratulations, Marva. Good morning.
I have no idea what you're talking about. These are not Duke colors. This is Carolina blue.
Sure, it looks royal to me.
No, it's not. If I had something around here that color I could put up against it, you would see. But no, it is not. It is not.
Okay. All right.
So,
how are you?
Crying this morning? I don't know.
Huh?
Are the Dukies crying this morning?
No, they're all excited. They didn't have any problems with. Hey, there you go. Wayne says, "Go Devils, Marva." Yeah, there you go.
Oh my goodness! And yes, Wayne, I did see your message yesterday on Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's the temperature this morning? What's the temperature this morning, man?
I haven't looked, but it feels toasty. I haven't been outside, but I'm going to check real quick just for you guys. I'm checking the phone. It is 68.
Oh, is that all?
So it's not too hot, 68. It's going to get up to 75, so it's not. Yeah.
Oh, look, it's
wintertime.
23. 20.
Oh, wow. I bet that feels a little chilly.
Oh, by the way, that stuff that when I posted that you were confused about, it's called snow. By the way, you don't get that in Miami.
No. Do you know that a lot of the schools down here will have events for kids where they bring, for little kids, they'll bring in fake snow so they can play in it and see what it's like. Isn't that nice?
Do they know what it is, or are they scared?
No, they know. They're excited. Wow. But of course, it's not really cold, but they just bring it in and then they dump it on the kids. It's a big deal. Because we're
doing that for real up here.
Oh, my kids would love to see that, but I don't know. They're not going to see it here.
Any word on the Bill Belichick year two? Everything good? Everything going to segue in there?
I mean, people are excited about the recruiting class he's bringing in. It's ranked 12th in the country. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So, I mean, there are people who are excited. There are people who want him to go. You know how it is, Rick. It's always divided. I want to give the man a chance. Let's see what he can do in year two. I'm not saying he needs to be shown the door. Let's just give it a chance and see what happens. Now, if after next year they're not any better, and also want to say I am not salty, when that Carolina did not make the football playoff. I'm not salty.
You're
about
okay
that.
with it?
You're
okay.
Okay.
Good.
Gives more time to focus on building up that class for next year and getting people ready. So I'm fine with it.
Didn't I see your quarterback that you liked but went in the portal? Think you did.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought the portal didn't open up until January.
They can announce it though. They're announcing. I'm pretty sure I saw
Gio
that.
Lopez announced?
No, not him. The one that you liked, the backup. He left.
Oh.
What was his name?
Are you talking about Max Johnson?
Yeah. Didn't he leave?
I didn't realize he had eligibility left, actually.
I think he went to the portal yesterday. If I'm not
but,
mistaken.
I'm sure he sees the writing on the wall with Belichick just loves Gio Lopez. He loves him.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He may be the only one outside of this kid's family. So, I don't blame him at all. I understand.
Miami owes your Duke Blue Devils a huge Christmas gift. So you helped Miami a lot with that big win that you had over Virginia. Big win. So.
I'm sorry. My team was not playing Virginia.
Oh,
I was doing something I never do. Now, I did not watch this game because I could not bring myself to do that. But from afar, I was cheering for Virginia, which is something I never do. Okay. They're almost as insufferable as Duke fans, UVA fans. So I don't do that. But I was just like, please do not let Duke win the ACC. And of course, they let them win the ACC.
Yeah.
Very, very disappointing.
Yeah, very disappointing. I think from your perspective, if Belichick didn't have the whole Jordan fiasco, everything would be just fine. They'd look at year one and say, okay, that place was an absolute mess. Let's just see how he does.
Brought in all these new players. It's going to take time for them to gel. Yeah. But I think that circus on the sidelines just didn't help things. And it made people wonder, how serious is he about the game and about this job at UNC? So I get that. And I hope, Rick, that is not that I don't really care if their relationship ends. I mean, that's their business. But I hope me hearing about it is over. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to read about it.
No.
Just private.
Yes. Keep it.
I don't know. Yeah. Like Mac Brown's wife, I don't know who she is. And no disrespect to her or him, but why would I need to know that? It's just like.
Well, he doesn't have any ability to talk about it because he's sleeping the whole time. So he probably doesn't even know who he's married to anymore. Right? He wakes up, back to sleep.
That is not funny.
Yeah.
But obviously he had people who didn't like that the school let him go. And I didn't think it was really nice the way it was done. But there are people who are saying, he did better than this. What's going on? And so it's just not a good look right now. But as I said, a lot of people are excited about this recruiting class. And they think that things are going to turn around. And I have to believe they can't be much worse. I think things will turn around. And then maybe we can hear less about Jordan and more about football. I'm talking about his girlfriend, Jordan, of course.
Oh, yeah. You want to hear all about Michael Jordan all you want.
Of course. Yes.
Morris says, Marva, be nice. Blue Devils are people too.
Are they though?
That's what
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They are people. One of my dear friends graduated from Duke, and she had her wedding, of course, in Duke Chapel, and I was in her wedding. And I give it to you, that is a beautiful place. Duke Chapel is, okay? It is the nice place on campus. The rest of it.
It's a nice campus. Duke is a nice campus.
I mean, if you like that Gothic architecture, yes.
It's a lot of Gothic architecture. Yeah.
I think
your campus is okay too.
It's beautiful.
Chapel Hill's nice too.
It's beautiful. You know what it's called, Rick, right?
What?
The southern part of heaven. That's what it's called.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
I don't know if I'd go that
it's
far.
A very beautiful place.
I don't know if I'd.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that's what, but that's what it's known.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What's
your take on how do you feel now? You're a huge sports gal. You watch what's going on, the controversy, how messed up college football is. Has this dissuaded you at all from being excited about the postseason? I'm not into it in any way, shape, or form.
Are you in the Notre Dame camp? Are you like?
No, I'm just the whole thing.
Just the whole thing.
The whole thing. ESPN. The whole. Everything
Rick, you gotta
just
get over that. You gotta just enjoy the games on the field. There are probably going to be some good games, and you got to find something to be excited about. What one of the things
I don't know if that JMU. I'm excited that they get that opportunity.
Well, what about Indiana? Why can't you be excited for them?
I do like the Signetti story. Maybe that'll be the team I pull. But they don't play for almost a month.
I know, but you got to find something, because I would love to see them make some noise. I mean, they could even win this thing. I also feel like, I live in Miami, but I'm not a Canes fan, but still I feel like they need to do something because, people are talking about them being in. So I hope that they'll use that motivation, to win. I would like to see them, I'm not saying I want to see them win at all, but I would like to see them do well. I've been interested in watching this whole thing with Notre Dame. I'm going to take my ball and go home. I personally don't feel like that's a good look. I understand why they're upset. Overall, I do not understand why they're upset with the ACC. They do not play football in the ACC. So what do they expect the conference to do? They expect the conference to say, just be silent, or say, oh, Notre Dame should get it, when Notre Dame doesn't play football in the Atlantic Coast Conference. So, of course, they're going to say Miami. I don't know what else they're supposed to say. I mean, they're not going to say Duke. I mean, then you're just a joke, right?
Because they knew that wasn't, even though they're the champion. Yeah, exactly. And it's the ACC's fault for their horrible tiebreaker. That's what the whole.
And so that's the thing maybe they need to change. Look at that tiebreaker and how they decide that. But I think even going into that, I still think like the people in charge of the conference thought, okay, UVA is going to win this. I don't think the nightmare scenario was what happened, and people did not think that was going to happen. But you see, Duke has ruined something else. That's what they do. They ruin things.
Well, and for me, the whole Miami Notre Dame thing ended because Miami beat them on the field. And if it doesn't matter in a head, I don't care when it is, right?
Who cares whether it was week one?
Part of Herbstreit's ridiculousness is he was saying, well, you can't look at that game. It was early in the year, and yet he's ignoring Alabama and Florida State. It's just –
it makes no sense.
Makes no sense.
This is
Miami beat them.
Maybe you can make that argument in basketball, maybe because the season they play.
Oh, sure you can. Yeah,
but you can't make that argument in football. Every weekend mattered. And I'm sorry. They are so salty. I mean, I have friends who are big Notre Dame fans, and oh my goodness, the crying and belly aching they're doing. It's so embarrassing to me. It's embarrassing to watch.
No, it's a bad look. It's a bad look for that brand all the way around. Yeah. It is.
So I don't know. Again, I don't get their anger at the ACC. The ACC did, in terms of, once the situation played out, of course they had to push Miami. What else would they do? So they just need to. I really think they should have played in a bowl. I think it would be good for their team. It's always sad because you think about like guys who are done, and they didn't realize their last game was their last game. And I don't like that for the players. I don't think it's right, but
What do you think of the 10 teams that are opted out of bowls already? Just shows you
well,
what
I
people
think
think
some
about
of
it.
them it makes sense. Even though
Yeah,
like I said, I don't like it for the kids, but some of them they're just in disarray, especially with coaching changes and things like that. Like I understand that.
if you don't, if you're trying to, if you're transitioning
It's
from one
hard.
regime to the other, sure.
That's really hard. But the ones who are just like, I'm too good for this, I just don't think it's good for the players. I really don't. And then we talk about, sometimes a player, if they're going to be, they're going on to the NFL, they're a big prospect, and they choose to sit out. You want to see them play as a fan, but I understand what they're thinking. But for a school to do that, most of these kids aren't going on to the NFL. Most of these kids, their football career is over when college is over. And for them, this means a lot. And I hate it for those kids.
NFL now, let's talk about that. We had 2 more incidents this weekend, and it's gotten a lot of national attention about these games not being legitimate. The end of the Broncos game with the field goal to cover the point spread and the over and under, and then the Ravens touchdown pass, which I didn't pay a lot of attention to, but my goodness gracious, that the Lively kid, Isaiah Lively, he took 3 steps. Ball came out, and 3 steps was supposed to be the in for all rule. They took the touchdown away. It ended up costing them the game. There's a lot going on right now in the NFL. They continue to ignore and gloss over, and nobody's covering because everybody needs their money, but that league's got a problem with its image right now.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this though for years about, is it something, sinister going on? Yeah. Is it just bad officiating though? Because we talk about officiating. I don't know, Rick, because sorry, I'm not getting emotional over this. I just have something in mind.
I'm sorry, Marva. Gosh, I forgot. Don't talk about the NFL.
Sorry, I'm not getting emotional. But, I do think some of these things we've seen go back to when I say we, I mean, as a society, allowed gambling to come in. And we've seen these problems. And it does make you wonder sometimes about that. We've seen the scandal with the NBA, and I just don't know. But I also think officiating is not that great. I think officiating could be better.
It's not.
So, I don't know. I'm not going to jump on and say, well, something's not on the up and up. But I will say that they need to work on these 2 problems, and they need to figure out something also about gambling. And, not to be on moral soapbox, but it's just, you open the door to these questions when you've allowed this, and not just allowed, but it's like you're kind of in bed with this situation. Especially like we talked about with ESPN, we've talked about them, and I know that they're getting out of, and they might already be out of it. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm not emotional. It's just there's something in my eye. I
just tore up this morning. She said, I understand. Look, when your Blue Devils win a championship, I get it. You're still thinking about that.
Yeah, whatever. But it just causes these questions. It raises these questions. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't think you put the genie back in the bottle completely, but maybe there's some things you can do. There's some things that you cannot have because, again, it raises these questions, and they're things that they need to do. All the sporting bodies need to look at this, and I don't know if the government needs to get involved. I don't know, but it's just raises these questions. And you don't want those questions surrounding your sport. So, I don't think it's, somebody a couple seasons ago, someone saying, oh, these games are fixed. I don't believe that. I really don't. I think they want the games to be very competitive. And I think you always, if you're honest, the TV executives, there's certain teams they want because they bring eyeballs, right?
Well,
yes.
Yeah, of course.
But they also, I don't think it goes to the point though where games are fixed, because too many people would have to be involved for games to be fixed. And I can't believe nobody would talk. It's very hard. That old saying, it's like, 3 men can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. There are too many moving parts. And so I just don't think games are fixed. But I do think that we don't know if individuals, though, we don't know if individuals
Correct.
are compromised.
That's the problem.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that needs to be looked at, and it's a serious problem. And I'm hoping that in the off season, that it's something that people will look at seriously. And like I said, I don't know if it's a matter the government needs to step in and there needs to be hearings or something. There's a lot of other issues to deal with in that front for the government, but it's just, I don't know. It's just not a good look. Where'd you go?
Hang on, I was getting us a drink there. Nobody wants to watch me take a tug off my drink.
Okay,
there.
I was just making sure you're all right.
We've
been taken off the air.
No, I'm good.
You know?
Hey, speaking of betting, Paul says I bet you, Marva, that North Carolina does not win the Natty in basketball.
What? You know, I don't like to talk. It's so early. I don't like to talk about that. But I think Carolina has a good shot. Carolina looks very good. Carolina has like such a good front court right now, shoring up things with the guards. Like, you know, since we were on last week, we talked about the ACC SEC challenge. And it's like the first night, ACC was really dominant, you know, and then that last night, though, that last night was so bad for the ACC.
SEC dominance. There you go. They even won the ACC.
But SEC only won that challenge, though, by like, I can't remember right now. It was like a game or two. It wasn't like they just had a good last night. You know, Carolina came out and beat Kentucky on the road, which is a really good game for the Heels. And, you know, Carolina on Sunday beat Georgetown at home pretty convincingly. And I just feel like this team is looking very good. And I don't think it's a team that people are going to want to play. And so I'm excited about the season. I'm not a betting person, but I do think Carolina will do very well. You know,
you're betting on it.
Rick, you got to stop. You're getting me in trouble.
How is everybody? Family, everybody? Kids good?
Yes, everybody's okay. Kids are very excited about Christmas.
Yeah.
You know,
good.
Very, very excited. Like my son just wants electronics. He wants a gaming system of some type. And
some type? Well, there's so
we
many.
Don't know. Like he's mentioned a lot.
No, I get it.
My husband and I we're not sure because we just feel like if he got something like that, and of course it would be up to us to control, but he would just be on it all the time. Yeah. And we're more like go outside and play. People.
Correct. There you go. That's why you're good parents.
We're not sure about, you know, if Santa's going to bring something like that because
just don't get him a dress shirt. Don't get him any dress clothes because he'll just be just don't do that.
I was going to give him some more polos. That's what I managed to get him to wear when we go to church. He wears a polo shirt and a pair of shorts, but a nice pair of shorts.
Okay.
So
right. That's okay.
Yeah, but he was saying they're all solid colors. He's like, I would like some designs or something. So I was like, well, let me see what I can find.
Chat, by the way, wants you to become the new NCAA commissioner. So congratulations. You've been nominated, I think, officially. Would you want that role, Marva? I think you'd be terrific.
I have some ideas about rules. Like, I don't know, we have to talk about that, but I have some ideas. There are two things that bother me, Rick.
Yeah.
When a game is just out of hand. Like, let's say a team is up 20, 25 points. And they're calling these ticky-tack fouls. I feel like if your team is
basketball, you mean?
Okay. Yes, basketball. If your team is up 20 points, the only fouls that should be called are like flagrant ones, blatant, ugly stuff.
No fouls at all.
Please, because this game, they just drag on. And if your team is up 20 points, no more fouls called unless it's blatant. Like you can't clothesline somebody. Come on. You know, the other rule I really like is if a game goes to overtime, you get every player who's still eligible to play. So if they haven't fouled out, they get one extra foul if the game goes to per overtime period. Because I hate to see these overtimes that we see these great games that goes 2-3 overtimes and you're just losing all your players. Give them one extra foul per overtime period as long as they have not already fouled out before overtime starts.
Okay.
Those are where we start. Okay. Can we get those done?
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. And I'll come up with things for the other sport. I do care about other sports. You know, basketball is my heart, but I do care about other sports as well. And I have some ideas. And so, okay. You know, where do I sign?
No, that's what's you're already making more sense as the vote in. Oh, we just lost power for a second. We already, you got me? Are you good?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
You've already made more sense as the write-in commissioner than anybody who's in place of power in college sports. Congratulations. You've already done that.
Thank you. You know, then I might be too much of a big time star. I may have to, you know, I'll still come on with you. We'll discuss things with you, but
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I hope you and the fam have an excellent week. Let me know what you decide about, the young guys' electronics. I think your thought process is very responsible.
Yeah.
But he's going to be so disappointed.
He is. He also wants a drone, though, which he's had drones in the past. He loves to fly those. They're fun.
Yeah.
But at least we like it. It's an outdoor thing, so we're all for going outside and playing.
You could send him to one of your beloved Marlins games, and he could just sit there and just hey, Mom, I got the game on for you, and just sit there and hover it around the stadium. That way you don't have to go.
No, we're already making plans. We got to get back out there. We had so much fun last season.
Okay. All right.
And this is going to be the Marlins year. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay. All right. Keep waiting. Well, listen, congratulations again to your Canes and your Blue Devils. I mean, raising Cane, doing some great stuff. So that's awesome. Awesome stuff.
No idea what. I think we lost our connection.
All right. You be good.
Okay. You too. Have a good week.
All right. You too. There you go. Marva, Miami. All right. We had some power blippage here. Let's see. I'm going to do some testing. I'm testing there we go. So my test showed, I think we're okay in chat. Somebody send me a chat message. I got Morris's, the difference between the NCAA and the Boy Scouts, you asked. Boy Scouts have adult supervision. Let me know if anybody can y'all still utilize chat? I just hit a test and it worked. There we go. Everybody good? All right. We're back and running now. So there you go. I talked about we got fortunate with the power, and then we had two little power blips there. But I think we're okay. Hit us up on the Professional Door Incorporated text line. That is 540-391-0788. All right, beautiful. Opal says it didn't skip a beat. So that was just on my end here. If that ever happens, by the way, what we will do, if you ever see this thing just go off the air, hang with me. I'll reboot unless I get some kind of power outage. And then I'll have to – what you do then is just jump to the Facebook page, and I'll put up what happened. Because the power's out. Clearly, I can't get back on. So just let me know. Let me know. Just let me know. All right? Just let me know. Brian Seigla going to join us momentarily. Yeah, you're right, David. I forgot. David Smith's still out of town with meetings, so he can't be on today. I couldn't remember the schedule. I thought it was just last week. So we won't talk any NFL today. Probably just as well, because I'm still focused on all the things that the NFL is doing, all the things that are happening behind the scenes. Just a lot, a whole lot. And none of it really good. Please, if you are new, we had a lot of people chiming in today. Subscribe, like, and share our channel content. There we go. Things are a little screwed up this morning. It's okay, though. It's okay. I'm just glad that we didn't get bad weather to the point of what they expected. I know that they were, as the day went on, when we got off yesterday, people were like 3 to 5 inches. I'm like, really? And then we had the pocket of sleet here. And then when the pocket of sleet came, it destroyed the snow amounts, which is great. I should get a backup generator, automatically start so we don't miss out. Yeah, I probably should, actually. It's not a bad idea. If someone wants to donate a generator, that would be awesome. Yeah, a generator would come in handy because if the power goes out, man, usually here, if the power goes out, it's out for a while. You don't get it back. That's right. I will take a generator donation for the program. Plug that bad boy up and get ready to go. And I will talk really loud over the generator sound. Inevitably, they make the loud noise. Yeah, it says, hey, if you are a generator sponsor and you'd like to be part of the program, please let us know. Yeah, for a guy who's anti-snow and winter weather like me, when you see the gushing of these guys on local TV about the snow, oof. It waits 30 seconds before kicking on. Okay, gotcha. So see, I might not be even better. But then again, if the power's off, it's the only way I could keep it going would be the generator. So I'm telling you now, if I lose power, you'll know if I don't come back, because that means that it's just going to be off here for several hours. I live over here, right off of Route 8 near the school system. So that helps. But usually when we're off, we're done for a while. You just go ahead and just take a nap. But I'll let you know if that happens. Check out socials. I'll put it on X too. And that way you'll know. Oh, Greg, he lives in the Australian desert. No snow here. What's the temperature in Australia right now? You're in the evening, right? Or Creed pulled the plug. He's tired of me talking. He's ready to go. It could be the case. Mike Burnop joins us as well. Talk to Brian Seigla coming up here about the rehiring of Brent Pry. We had a few more votes this morning on our attorney Ryan Pry question of the week. Where are we now? We're about at 30 to 26 anti-rehire of Brent Pry. 30 by 26. So there you go. 56 people, and 30 of you say, no, you don't like it. I just think it's strange. It's very strange. 10:40 p.m. there. Really? 35? Okay. It's 22 here. Should have had a turkey drop at a Kroger Food Line this year. Should have. Could have went out there as Les Nessman. You could do by candlelight on your phone. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the lighting. I wouldn't have any power for the whole system here. That's why the generator idea is probably a pretty good idea. Yeah, I should probably look into that. Does anybody in Ireland use Irish Spring bath soap? That's a good question. What makes it Irish? Is it just because it's green soap? What proof do we have? That one made me laugh. I liked it. Subscribe, Greg. Frank, anybody who hasn't subscribed to the channel, it's free. We don't bother you. You just get a notice the show's going on. You can stop in any time. We do eliminate the bot comments since they gave us the extra stream and we're now accessed everywhere. Sometimes people will show up here and it's just, you know which ones to delete and ban, and it's pretty obvious. It is what it is. $10,000 for, whew. Well, Hokie Rocks, I'll be glad to, borrow that anytime that you want to just, keep it running. If you just want to keep it in working order. Because the power does seem to go out here quite frequently. I like the idea, by the way, of Marva running for commissioner of college sports. That would be great. She would be outstanding. I like that a lot. Hokie Rock's going to ask the wife. Greg says, I used to shear sheep. Oh, that's cool. Some of the shearing stations had no electricity. Well, that's not cool. Because you got some sheep that are out there ready for the summer and some that are like, come on, man, I'm burning up here. What's going on? The 10K types are stationary. Yeah, and hooked up to the house. That's true. I'm talking about one of the little portable jobs, right? And all I needed to do is hook up the board and the computer, right? I wouldn't really need anything else. Yeah, I should look into that. that would keep the show going during the loss of power, which is going to happen, by the way. There's going to be a missed show because the power is going to go out. I'm just telling you now. Every winter it happens. And it's one of those where you get the, the power's out, you call it in, and then you check on it an hour later. Your power's scheduled to be back on. And this could be like 9 or 10 in the morning. And then your power is scheduled to be back on at 2 a.m. Oh, that's a great point. Yeah, most of the time when the power's out, the internet will be out too. Yeah. Yep. So I might just be completely and utterly screwed. You know what, though? I'm not, because you know what I can do? I just realized it. Because of the amount of subscribers that we have, I can go live here on the phone. So there you go. There you go. Let Brian know I sent the invite. Sometimes people are not aware that I send the invite. Hang on here. There we go. There we go. Morris says we need. What does Morris say here? We need 250 more subscribers. Yeah, that's all. Well, not all. I'd like to get more than that, but yeah, we need 250 for. We just need 250 for 1,000, which is amazing to me. Amazing to me. Greg says he has an 8K backup generator. Okay. But to the point earlier, yeah, that's right. If the won't matter, power's out, the internet's going to be out. So therefore, no connection. And we're done. And then we're completely done. Yeah. But I'll go by phone. I can go live by phone. I don't know what it'll look like because I've never done it. But you would be able, I guess I would just carry you around with me. And we could finish the show that way. And I think you can actually have guests on too that way. I have to look into that. We'll have to do that when, we're just feeling froggy one morning. May have to do that. Brian Seigla scheduled to join us here from the Boundary Corner. He'll let me know if he's having any problems. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. So the comment yesterday, by the way, from Bavacqua, the AD, in case you missed it, Pete Bavacqua said, "We were mystified by the actions of the ACC. They have clearly, or have certainly done permanent damage to the relationship between the conference and Notre Dame." And that's exactly what he said on the Dan Patrick Show. And I'm trying to see if there's any positive comments. No. All I know is the ACC has tried for years to have Notre Dame be a permanent member, full-time member. They've always declined and almost scoffed at them. So a few football games against ACC members, they get the whole benefits. And the thing about Notre Dame, if they leave the ACC, this is what they're going to lose. They're going to lose the scheduling, the easy scheduling and playing for championships from all their Olympic teams. They can't afford to leave a conference because you have to fill schedules as an independent. And then none of those student athletes, and I use that term loosely in today's environment, none of those student athletes would be able to play for a championship. And they have a lot of sports in South Bend. Morris says, positive comments on ACC. Rick, you're a comedian now. Yeah, people are actually defending the ACC. Absolutely. Paul says might have to use the Ready Set Fund to get a 10K generator. Well, you might. But that's the thing. Notre Dame can make all these plans to leave, but what are they going to do with the rest of their schedules? Right? I mean, what are they going to do? 95 degrees Fahrenheit. That makes more sense. He was going Celsius. We don't do Celsius in this country. That's funny. Very funny. What's up, Crunch? So just think about that out loud for just a second. Notre Dame can't afford to leave the ACC. No matter, I don't care what kind of threats they make. There's no way they can leave the ACC. You know why? Because none of their other sports teams could fill their schedules. The ACC does benefit Notre Dame more than people think on the surface because they fill their schedules. Look at women's basketball and men's basketball. What would Notre Dame do then? Look at soccer, baseball. You pick them out. The ACC fills up over half of their schedules. Now, I think Wayne said it right. They're very surprised somebody stood up to them, and they don't respond very well to that because nobody has ever stood up to them. Oh, okay, Crunch. Good to see you from India. Yeah. Notre Dame has had their cake and they eat it too, right? They're given all the benefits of conference membership in every other sport. They are allowed to keep their beloved independence in football. Next year, their entitlement grows even more when if they're in the top 12, they're in the playoff. Doesn't matter what it looks like. And given their really weak schedule next year, they will be part of the playoff. They'll be in the top 12. But, yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. There are no positive comments here. None. Zero, zip. And we got a lot. Like I said, this thing got so many comments. This thing got shared. This is the one that got like 15,000 views on its own. But there's no, there's absolutely no sympathy, and I get it. I get it. Crazy. Actually, it's up to 32,000 interactions. Wow. One post got 32,000 interactions. That's huge. Yeah, see, I know, Joseph, but next year's schedule is really bad, and people are focused on that because it's right there in the aftermath. Yeah, Auburn. Yeah. Yes, Alabama's higher on the rung just in terms of being part of the ESPN protection plan in the SEC. They proved that. Hey, Kerry, glad you're back. We missed you, Kerry. I'm guessing Seigla overslept. He didn't respond. See you, Crunch. Be good. Stop in anytime. Yeah, I think I do believe that Brian is probably slept. Brian's been dealing with a lot. He lost his dad, and so hope he can jump on anytime he wants. It's fine. David Smith's still gone. I forgot. I was going to send an invite to David, but I forgot he was out this week. He works. He works. Right? He works. That's awesome, man. I just realized that 32,000 interactions. Wow. That's crazy. We just need people to subscribe. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Carrie says she predicted Indiana was going to beat OSU, and they did. Yep, you did. I did too, actually. Yeah, the Bears, Caleb Williams, had to be Caleb Williams with that throw at the end of that game. NFC's wide open. The Eagles don't look very good to me. The Rams, I thought, were the best team. Then they laid an egg in Carolina. I don't know who the best team is in that league. Seattle? Seattle might be the best team in the NFC. Green Bay's playing well again. AFC. I mean, Denver and New England have the two best records in the league, but I don't feel like either one of them are going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Doesn't feel that way to me. Especially my own team, being a Broncos fan. They don't have enough offense. Yeah, Jalen Hurts was terrible last night. That team they're not behind him. You can just see the lack of interaction. 4 more interceptions. Wouldn't ACC have been better off, Morris says, to have taken Eastern Seaboard teams like JMU Liberty down south like Tulane? They should have taken West Virginia a long time ago. Browns are about to make a run after the loss to the Titans. Yeah, West Virginia should have been part of the ACC a long time ago. Because I'm telling you one thing, the utter idiocy of having Cal and Stanford in this league continues to unveil itself. It makes zero sense why those two schools are in the ACC. There's no validation for having Cal and Stanford in the ACC, right? Right? None. Yeah, the Colts are done. I never thought they were legitimate. Daniel Jones out for the year. My goodness, they might have Phillip Rivers at 45 coming out there. Jacksonville looks like they're the best team in the AFC South. Jacksonville and Houston. Houston's playing great defense. No doubt West Virginia and Tech should be playing every year. That's something else Whit Babcock dropped the ball on, and the administration in Morgantown. Remember when they tried to say, the fan bases are just too violent? How good would that be for business every year to have that game on, right? It's like West Virginia and Pitt still play the backyard brawl. A lot of people say West Virginia had to choose one, and they chose Pitt. Maybe that's true. I don't know. And I get it. For West Virginia fan, the Pitt game means a lot more than the West Virginia game. $7:30 spot is, I'm telling Brian. Jump on. If you want to jump on. Okay. It's exactly what I thought. The alarm did not go off for Brian. Yeah, the playoffs are going to be crazy. Going to be absolutely crazy. No doubt. Wayne says we can't play West Virginia. ODU is our rival now. Want to thank all of our sponsors. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Thanks to Jason Green and the gang. They are terrific. McClellan Chiropractic. Go see Mark Hunley. You got a back issue or whatever else might be bothering you. He can diagnose and have you on your way feeling a lot better than you did before you ever went in. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, thanks to them for being the presenting sponsor of this program. Little River Heating and Air. Charles Lee, 540-553-2971. Do not hesitate. Give him a call today. You wake up in the morning, it's 23 degrees. Yeah, you need Charles Lee. The attorney, Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning, our BDST fan question of the week. And right now, 56 of you have responded, 30 to 26 anti the Brent Pry hiring. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of the program. Thank you so much to Larry Ramsey and everybody. Travis Williams, sponsor of our text line, Professional Door Incorporated, right across from New River Community College in Dublin. Residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated for 38 years. They are the absolute best. The Ready Set Fund, reach out. Oops, that's the wrong one. The Ready Set Fund, reach out to David Christ's brother, Bob Christ. Great guy. BobChrist11@gmail.com. They have text messages ready for you if you want to be part and win some money. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, place to go for manufactured home parts such as windows, plumbing, and supplies, located at 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Thanks to all the folks at Harvey's GM. They are the best. Get your new vehicle or used vehicle. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel for our T-shirts. If you want a T-shirt, hit me up, DM me, Rick Watson or the show, or hit me up on the text line. Whatever might work. That would be great. Also, we want to thank all the folks at the NRV Super Bowl. And we want to congratulate once again Sarah Williams. She bowled 288, 271. Super Bowl's done a lot of work, and they're going to open up nightlife, NRV Nightlife, December the 12th. It's going to start from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. So give them a call, find out about that, Amanda or Terry, 540-382-5525. And thanks to all the folks at the Montgomery County Chamber of Commerce, Steve, and doing some great work over there with all the businesses and so forth. And thanks for making us an honor. All right, there we go. Well, we kind of sensed that maybe this next gentleman was maybe not responding to the call of the morning time. And there he is, Brian Seigla. What's up, brother?
Oh, man, it's a snow day, and apparently my alarm didn't want to get me up this morning for whatever reason. So.
Hey, I get it, man. Hey, don't worry. Don't worry at all. Well, let's jump right into it, man. Brent Pry back as the defensive coordinator. Your thoughts?
The classic re-return, right? I didn't think we would see it this fast. When I was talking to everybody, I was like, okay, well, if you got Franklin as your head coach, Pry's probably involved in some way, shape, or form, maybe defensive analyst or something, and he might be the coordinator if the first guy you have moves on for one reason or another in a couple years. I didn't think we'd have Pry back out the gate. I'm trying to talk myself into this only being weird and not being a bad move.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, if Brent Pry left Penn State 4 years ago and went to any other P4 school, had a couple decent years and a couple bad years, got canned, and Franklin was our head coach, and he's like, "Come on in, Pry," I'd probably be all about that because looking at his track record at Penn State and Vanderbilt and all that, I'd be like, okay, all right, that's a pretty solid hire. It's a nice little soft landing for him after a tough go about it. It's only weird because it's Virginia Tech and it's 3 months after he was fired.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm at on that front. It's interesting. It's definitely a dynamic that you don't expect. I think my only concern is how is this playing in the locker room with the retention of the guys. I think it could be quite beneficial to retaining people on the roster that he had good relationships with, but I don't know what it would look like with a couple of the guys that he had maybe lost there at the end. So it could go either way, but I think that at least from a defensive roster retention, I think this is probably a pretty good move overall. We'll see how the rest of the staff shakes out and what that looks like for the retention on the offensive side.
And I agree. It's just, and now will he be just the sole defensive coordinator? He's never been just the defense. He's always had this co-defensive coordinator title. At Penn State, he wasn't the guy. There were two. I didn't understand why they did that, and now I wonder will they do that again, or will he just be the defensive coordinator really for the first time? That's another question I have in all this.
Yeah, Franklin had a propensity to have a lot of co-coordinators, especially kind of early in the Penn State run there. There was always somebody that had that co-role, both on offense and defense. I mean, we know that Tyler Bowen, when he came to Virginia Tech before his little jaunt down to Jacksonville, was co-OC for that last stint at Penn State there. So there's been a lot of folks that have had co-roles. I guess the difference being is that Brent Pry was the primary defensive play caller while he was at Penn State, whereas someone like Tyler Bowen only had those situational roles where bowl games after Ricky Ronnie had moved on and things like that. So there's a little bit of a difference, but maybe a difference without a distinction there for some of this.
I know that Franklin met with the staff yesterday, hearing that there might not be any. We'll see. That's not confirmed, that he might just send everybody on their way. We'll see. We haven't gotten any announcement. Are you okay that we haven't heard anything? I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I know he's got time now before the portal, and I know they've been working, contacting kids behind the scenes and all that. I'm not naive to that, but are you a little surprised we haven't heard more about the staff? I mean, still no official announcement from Tech in any way, shape, or form, and nobody has written who covers Virginia Tech about Brent Pry. It was all national reports, which I think is a little strange too. So we don't really have any official word yet about what's happening with the staff.
I would say concerned. I would say that, I think the difference is that we got ahead of the coaching hire because of when we fired our head coach and when we were able to hire Franklin. I think this gives us probably a little more flexibility with staff build out, because at this point we're not really behind per se.
No.
We're just behind relative to when we hired our head coach. Most of the time you would think, okay, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, you'd probably have some names floating out there that aren't the guy that you just fired 3 months ago. And we've heard some names, some whispers, some rumblings about potential guys, things like that. But I know that there was a lot of moving parts. I know a lot of this, some of it was waiting to see which shoe dropped at Penn State, to see how many of those guys were going to come, whether obviously with Terry getting locked up there, that maybe shifted some things for Franklin's trajectory on some staff hires. So it could be something like that, where now we're kind of working on a pivot from that, and with a couple other folks that he had kind of circled. I'm interested to see offensively where we go with this, and what that looks like. We've heard some names get thrown out there, Howell in particular. We've heard some rumblings about, Dan Connor on the defensive side of the ball. So there are names getting thrown out there, as far as guys that could be coming over from the Penn State staff. But what their roles are going to be, and whether that's going to be, any sort of coordinator or co-coordinator type situation, we still need to let that kind of shake out at this point, because it's all speculative.
Yeah, and it's hard to know who they might be targeting in the portal for that quarterback, that all-important quarterback transfer they're going to have to sign, because, like you said, we don't have any inkling about, what they might be looking at offensively. I know it hasn't been an offense that's swayed too much. They've had the same type of quarterback at Penn State since he was there, right? They haven't really recruited outside of that. We can kind of get a glimpse at the last three quarterbacks they brought in as the kind of guy they might be looking at to bring in Blacksburg. But there is still a lot of mystery, and there's still a lot of stuff going on here, and we'll find out, Wayne's bringing up, Ricky Ronnie. It comes down to personal choice, just like with Bob Chesney going all the way out to UCLA, which seems like a hopeless job. He paid his dues. He's ready to go. I mean, he made the rounds yesterday. He looked great. He was happy. The family looked great out there. He just looks like an LA guy. But I mean, like Ricky Ronnie, do you want to leave a program that you've built? You've got them in a bowl. You've got them in a good spot. I know you're only going to be limited because of where you are in terms of, G5. They're still relatively a new Division I program. Do you want to leave that and come over just to be a coordinator? We don't know people's motivations. So I don't know. We'll see.
And is he getting ODU to a point now where he feels like he can parlay that into a P4 head coaching job in a year or two versus going back to a P4 coordinator and then trying to make that jump again later?
Right.
So, and we kind of, looking at the quarterback, we kind of got a little bit of an idea of what they were looking for with Hune in the recruiting wrap up there. But my thing is going to be, and I was on Tales from the Terror Dome last night. I talked about it a little bit there. If I'm attacking the portal, I know we need a quarterback, but we need to lock up to at least 2 to 3 starting offensive linemen, and we need to do that at the same time in parallel with that quarterback position, because it's going to be hard to bring a top level quarterback to a program that's shown a propensity to struggle in pass protection.
Yes.
And that's what we did for the entirety of the 2025 season. So, who you're bringing in from a offensive line perspective is probably going to need to be part of the conversations that you're having with the quarterback, whether that's a Colton Joseph or a Sam Levitt, if you try to make a swing for him, whoever it may be, that's going to need to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, all these things will be unveiled. And like I said, there's a lot. What we always have to remember is lack of information does not indicate lack of activity, right?
Yes.
I mean, a lot of times it's natural for us as fans to go, they're not doing anything. Well, that's not happening. They are. We know that. It's just, the information has been very slow. Actually, not slow. It's been non-existent to come out. But trust me, folks, there's activity going on, right, for this staff and for everything else. So,
and some things are going to come, in part, and you don't have the full picture yet of what that's going to look like. And, in isolation, it may be like, I don't like that. But when you kind of see the full picture, it's like, okay, well, that makes a little more sense.
Right. Well, and I agree with you about the linemen. Everybody's going to say, what about all these linemen they brought in? None of them are going to be ready to come in and start. They have to develop. That's the thing about freshmen. People get excited, but they got to come in and develop the right way, have the right mindset. There's a lot more questions around the current freshmen you're bringing in, more so than ever, with the easy out they have if they don't like a spot than it is for guys who are in the portal already and are choosing a destination. Yes, a lot of it because of money, but because, okay, I've been here, let's go here and make a conscious decision to move up a level or to move, sideways or whatever it is. It's very, and from that standpoint, roster build is so more intriguing now than it ever has been.
I agree. And when you talk about, freshmen being able to come in and play, offensive line is probably the position where it's the hardest to come in and play right away. You're not getting, John McLaughlin's and Christian Darisal's walking off the street every day. This is a very rare situation where you can get guys like that come right in and can play as a true freshman.
What's great too is that, well, not great, but what's interesting to me is if you notice that the market, from what we've heard so far, we don't know because nobody has to talk about costs, but quarterbacks, left tackles, cornerbacks are going for the same amount of money in terms of college terms, like in the NFL. Those are the 3 big spots, right? They get the most free agency dollars. We're hearing from people that those are the 3 spots here out of the portal that are getting the most money. So it's kind of following it. Yeah.
And then I think like edge is probably right behind those. So
yeah.
Like some sort of top flight pass rusher.
Yeah. So we'll see. Everybody asked me about a time frame. I don't know. We don't know, right? Because there's no information at all. But I want to get your thoughts too on Matt Campbell landing at Penn State. Very emotional press conference for him yesterday. A lot of Tech fans were throwing a lot of shade at Penn State, but I think they made a terrific hire. This is a guy that you and I talked about it right after Pry was fired. Matt Campbell's name came up a whole lot, right? You talked about Matt Campbell. I mean, there were a lot of Tech fans here that immediately, because he wanted to get involved the first time around with the job when they hired Brent Pry. Pretty good spot for him. Pretty good landing for Penn State, considering everything.
Yeah, I know when we were talking about it, Curtis had him on his list as far as his kind of top level candidate at the time. You know, I like the hire. I think it was the hire they should have made to begin with, instead of kind of going, you know, around the world to get back to what they should have did right out the gate. Probably caused them a lot more headaches from a social media and PR perspective than they needed. But, you know, ultimately they got a good hire. I mean, I think, you know, when you look at the hire, the only, if I'm a Penn State fan, the only concern is that, you know, there isn't quite the Mid-Atlantic recruiting footprint for Campbell that you had with James Franklin. But you do get a lot more of that Midwest, you know, recruiting footprint, which is still within your window there. So I think they'll be okay recruiting wise. It might kind of shift a little bit to the West compared to what you saw with James Franklin. They'll do well in Pennsylvania. They'll do well in Ohio. They'll do well in those areas. I don't know if you'll see the Jersey, Maryland, Virginia reaches quite as much with Matt Campbell at the helm as you saw with James Franklin, and hopefully that bodes well for us on the recruiting stage as well, because James still has his wheelhouse. It looks like Matt Campbell will have his wheelhouse. There'll be some overlap in Pennsylvania, but not a ton anywhere else. And we'll see how we can still reach into Pennsylvania and steal some of those kids down there to come to Blacksburg.
Yeah, I agree. I think for Penn State, I mean, if you look at the numbers, and he talked about it a little bit, they were the legitimate worst, what we now call P4 program in the country when he got there. Iowa State was at the bottom of everything, and he turned them into 4-10 win. He's 3-time coach of the year in that league. Yep. He did at a place like Iowa State, and now he gets to cook with the unlimited resources at Penn State. He's got to just be like a kid in a candy store right now. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. You know, when you look at the Big Ten, I think the thing with Campbell, and if they can even, you know, if they can consistently continue to put out top 30, top 25 classes with Matt Campbell recruiting, they're going to play above that recruiting level, that talent level every single year, because that's what he's done at Iowa State. They played above their talent level consistently, you know, for about a decade now. So that's what you're getting with Matt Campbell, is that a coach that's going to punch above his weight class from a talent standpoint year in, year out.
100%.
Now, that might always equal 10 wins or 11 wins or whatever Penn State wants, but it's going to be relative to the talent. They'll be able to punch above their weight class, and, you know, they might be able to steal one or two from Ohio State with him.
And that's one of the challenges for James Franklin. Can he continue to get that kind of talent level that he was getting at a place like Penn State in Blacksburg, right? I mean, that's also a question. It's Penn State. They're blue blood. Yeah. That's a natural benefit that you have for being at a school like that. Can he recreate that now at Virginia Tech? So they both have their different types of challenges, you know.
Returns are good early. We'll see what happens in the transfer portal, but at least
that's
the returns on the high school talent right out the gate. You know, get the top 25 class going from 124 to 24 or 23, depending on the publication. That was a good swing right out the gate. We'll see if he can sustain that, obviously with the portal, and then obviously once we've got some actual games to look at and fall back on, versus just, you know, right now, as he said during the press conference, I told the kids, trust me, I'm going to get it going, and, you know, for a lot of them that was enough. So we'll see how things shake out once we get a little bit further along with this thing.
And going forward, though, he'll have to create all these relationships at Tech. It was fairly simple for him to go flip guys that didn't have their money any longer at Penn State to follow him to Blacksburg. He won't have that innate advantage either, right? So that's something else. I think fans are thinking that's going to be the case every year. But Franklin had a huge advantage with those particular kids because they were all Penn State commits. Not all, but most of them were guys that he had already, gotten to know and so forth. And so
see. And Penn State didn't have a coach to
correct. Nobody, right? No challenge. Yeah, again, there's nobody here to try to keep me here, right?
Now there were, obviously some of those kids have relationships with other schools, so there was still challenges out there, but there wasn't one where they had already committed to a guy and a place, and all of a sudden that money's gone. It's like, okay, well, if you can give me anywhere in that same ballpark,
exactly, I
trust you. Let's do this thing.
Real quick, what were your thoughts? ACC title game. Miami gets in. You still have ACC representation. Notre Dame pouting and stomping their feet. I know it's a lot to ask, but whole system's a complete mess. But what'd you think about the weekend?
Man, there's so much to unpack there. So obviously, I was happy with the outcome of the championship game. I thought chaos is fun. If I'm not a part of it, give me all the chaos in the world. The fact that it was at the expense of UVA was just a bonus there. When you flip that and you look at just the college football playoff, I felt bad initially for Notre Dame. I felt bad initially because when I was looking at it, if you had 2 spots for 3 teams, it looked like the 2 spots for 3 teams were Miami, Notre Dame, Alabama. I was putting in Miami and Notre Dame. If it was me, if I was on the committee, I had the final say. That's who I was putting in. I don't think you can get blown out in the SEC championship game and get dog whipped week 1 by an awful FSU team and that not matter. Right. But we saw the calculus that the committee was doing. It felt like as we wrapped up there, it's like we're gonna give you a little bit of a treat here, Notre Dame. We're gonna keep bumping you up, put you ahead of Miami, make it look all good, and then we're gonna pull the carpet out from under you. Meanwhile, they keep Alabama a little bit lower than you expect, and all of a sudden bump them up a lot after a tight win in the Iron Bowl, and we're like, why are you moving them? Why are you shifting them up that? They almost lost that game.
So shady.
And that Auburn team doesn't have a head coach, and is flirting with 500 here. What are we doing? And ultimately that's what happened. It was like, okay, well, regardless of the championship game, now Alabama's in, and Notre Dame was the casualty there. It looks like that head-to-head came into play, which it should. But when you look at the overall resume, I mean, Notre Dame lost 2 games by a combined 4 points against 2 other playoff teams. That ultimately is what it came down to. Meanwhile, again, Alabama got blown out by an awful FSU team. So when I make that comparison, I'm like, well, Notre Dame should be in. But now the reaction by Notre Dame has kind of soured me on this whole thing because
I know.
It's definitely, take my ball and go home energy, just because things didn't go your way. The bowl opt-out is one thing, but this, AD pity party, the ACC screwed us debacle. I'm like, all right, so a full member, you want them to have the back of you over a full member just because you're Notre Dame? I don't think so. No, that's at the end of the day, this is the sport that you're not a member in, so they shouldn't have any, aligned loyalty to boosting you because they see no real benefit from it.
100%. What you guys got coming on? Boundary Corner. That's tonight, right? Lots to discuss. My goodness gracious.
Tonight we've got Batay Sis joining us from 24/7 Sports. VT Scoop. We're going to talk a little bit about the recruiting. We're going to talk some about these the staff hires, or at least the staff rumblings. Nothing obviously official yet, but we're going to start talking about the staff. The re-return of Jimothy Pry. And yeah, it's going to be a good time, I think.
All right. Well, have fun, man, as always. And I appreciate everything. And we're still thinking about you, man. And hope everything's going a little better day by day for you and the fan. So
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Rick.
All right, brother. Take care. Have fun tonight, man. Check them out, everybody, on the Boundary Corner. They have a great time. It's terrific. They get the panel going. They have great discussion, and they do an outstanding job. Brian's a great guy. Boundary Corner, great entertainment. If you're a Tech fan, you need to make sure you check that out at all times. Mike Burnop will join us here momentarily. Yeah, Prometheus, I couldn't agree more. They are the only team that could make it in with 3 losses. And I agree, too, what Brian said, right? If they'd have chosen Miami and Notre Dame, I think everybody would have just went, okay, look at that. They stood up to an SEC team. This thing isn't as rigged as it seems. But they put Alabama in. They campaigned shamelessly for them all weekend. All week. Like he said, like Brian said, they moved them up after their near miss against Auburn to protect them, right? And then they were protected. And there you go. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you're right. Good text, Paul. That's it. You just on the professional door text line. Alabama gets more viewers per game than anybody else in the country. 8.5 million this past year. Why do you think they got in? Notre Dame did not show up, surprisingly, in the top 10. Miami is number 9. So you added 2 of the top 10 teams into your playoff. As a matter of fact, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Miami, you have 5 of the top 10 draws in the playoff. So that has a lot to do with it. There's no question. And if they say they don't, they're just lying out of their ass like they usually do at ESPN. I mean, you can try to cover for them all you want to. I don't think most people do nowadays, but it is what it is. But here we are. Hit us up on the professional door text line. Good stuff coming in there, flying, and on our McClellan Chiropractic chat line. And thanks again, everybody, for sharing and liking. 37,000 reactions to the post yesterday. Wow. Crazy. All right, join us now on the program. There he is. He's been broadcasting Virginia Tech football for 43 years, and now he gets to focus on basketball solely. Travel woes are done for Mike Burnop. What's up, brother?
Yeah, I think I spent one night in my bed in about 10, 11 days. Man, we were on the run. Bahamas, then straight to South Carolina. I mean, good gracious. It was a crazy time. It was a good win for them the other night against George Mason. That was a pretty good team. They were 9-0, undefeated. That was a good win.
That's a good win. People keep an eye on Mason. That's going to be a 20-plus win team this year. And
Coach Skin does a great job.
Yeah. And Tech's settling in. They still don't have Lawal. You don't know how long that might last. And people got to realize early in the year when you lose a guy like that, man, that's one heck of adjustment. And Tech's been competitive in every game without him. So,
a couple of those in the Bahamas got away for them, like VCU. They got behind early and had a hard time catching up. But that's another good team. VCU is really good. And I think Phil Martelli is going to do a nice job up there. And, but Mason, they were undefeated and had a good net ranking, better than the Hokies. And so that was a good win. And they're learning how to play without Toby a little bit. And they stayed out of foul trouble. And Jaden Shute, man, he was remarkable. Just draining 3 after 3. I had 6 of them in the game. And it made a big difference. Hansberry was solid as always. And, they got good contributions from a lot of different players. And that's the thing about this team. Any one day, it seems like somebody else could lead them in scoring. So, I thought Neo did a nice job passing the ball again. And it's been fun to watch. They play, Western Carolina on Thursday night. And I think they got Maryland Eastern Shore Sunday. It's crazy to think, Rick, but before the New Year's, this season's going to be almost half over.
That's right. Because
then you got 18 games left after New Year's, or 17, I guess, after New Year's, because you're playing UVA New Year's Eve. So 17 league games after that. It's kind of crazy.
No, you're right. It comes at you pretty fast. Once you get beyond Christmas into January and the conference schedule flips, it just flies by. And that's an NCAA team to me. I really believe that. I think they're definitely an NCAA team, Virginia Tech. Just looking at them, I know they have to win games and they have to get there, but they've got all the things they need, especially when they get Lawal back, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. And, I mean, you got to stay healthy, obviously, and you got to be a little lucky. because these road games in the ACC are not going to be easy. And gosh, you look how well some of those teams are playing now, especially Duke, and some of them, Louisville, seem like they got back on track a little bit. So yeah, it'll be difficult, but yeah, I think they're on the right path, and they got a whole lot more pieces to the puzzle than they had last year.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Again, thanks to Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster Realtors, for Mike's appearance here, nrbhomes.com. Well, still some news. We don't get a lot of news what's going on with Tech football, but we've got some big news potentially. It has been an official announcement, but it looks like Brent Pry is going to return as the defensive coordinator. What are some of your thoughts about that? We know how close James Franklin and Brent Pry are.
Yeah, they are, and I don't think James Franklin would have taken this job had it not been without Brent Pry's knowledge of the situation and all the stuff that he knows. I mean, Brent knows the whole landscape about Virginia Tech football, right? I mean, he was here for 4 years. He was here as a GA. He knows the culture of this program. He knows the donors. He knows the people in the closet you got to stay away from. You know, I mean, he knows everything about everything. And so I think he's been a great resource for James Franklin. And those guys won a lot of games together at Vanderbilt and up at, obviously, at Penn State. So I think it's a win-win. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, what's that about? The guy got fired and now he's coming back. But I think it just shows maybe something about Brent Pry, too, the love he has for this place, for Virginia Tech, because, you know, if you got fired, Rick, would you come back in another capacity? I
right.
mean, that's
a different capacity. Right.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it says a lot about Brent. And, but I think he'll be a great asset to him, knowing what he knows, his knowledge of everything Virginia Tech. And I think he can take a lot of the pressure off James Franklin.
You think this will be, I know it's probably too early to know, but he's kind of been co-coordinator title before for James Franklin. You think that'll be by the wayside now and he'll be just the defensive coordinator?
You know, I don't know. I think all those decisions are still in the process. I don't know, you know, if Brent will have any say-so in terms of hiring his, you know, who he wants underneath him. I don't know. I mean, it's really quiet over there. They've kind of locked down Merriman Center. You know, it used to be that you could, if you go into a basketball game, you could go through there, but now they can't.
Really?
So that's a change that they made. They want to make it a football-only building.
Wow.
And try to keep some of the people out of the hallways and whatnot. And, you know, they need the space. I mean, they're going to be doing some changes over there for sure because, I mean, think about that Merriman Center was built. Bill Dooley was here. How long ago was that?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that conference room doesn't hold all the staff. Didn't hold all the Brent Pry staff. So it sure is not going to hold James Franklin. So they're going to have to do some stuff over there to make some changes and whatnot. But I think it's all good. And you look at that recruiting class that he signed, Rick, the 4 stars that he got and the kids that he flipped, pretty remarkable first go around for after only being here a couple weeks.
And I keep trying to remind people, Mike, I know everybody's frustrated about the lack of news, but lack of information doesn't mean a lack of activity in any way, shape, or form, right? There's a huge difference, right?
Yeah. You can rest assured they're busting their fannies over there, getting stuff done behind the scenes and trying to get a staff together and meeting with every player and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's no rest over there for sure.
Mike Burnop joining us on the program. Of course, Louise Baker, responsible for Mike being here, the Louise Baker team, Long and Foster. We love Louise. She's been a snow bunny out there trying to get houses sold here over the last couple of days. I know that.
I got to get her on my sled one day.
Oh, yeah. We got to get more sled cam. That was great. How much did you get where you are? I'm curious because yesterday, where I am in Reiner, Mike, we got less than 2 inches here. We didn't get much. We had a lot of sleet. What did you get over there?
It was kind of the same thing here, Rick. You know, when I went up to work to the office, it was worse than it was like 2-3 hours later. And I thought, okay, this thing's supposed to change. It's supposed to get colder and it's supposed to snow a little bit more. And this afternoon, I thought, you know, hey, I might be able to go a little sleigh riding. Well, the roads were just clearer back then than they were in the morning.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, just it's probably frozen over now, obviously a little bit. But, yeah, a little disappointed in the amount of snow we got.
Yeah, we did not. The first one was like they said it was going to be. It was easy to kind of move, easier to shovel. Yeah. And then this one came and I was prepared. It was supposed to snow all day and I'm looking out. It never picked up here.
Yeah, it was just a little fine, real fine snow. Yeah, but it was pretty. And, you know, anytime it sticks to the trees, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Some great pictures. Yeah.
So now that we look at this, Mike, going forward, I got to get your thoughts on the ACC title game. Of course, it worked out. They still have a representative. Thought Notre Dame's actions yesterday, the comments from Bavaca were embarrassing. It should be. They should be. What are your thoughts about all that? First, let's go back to the game. Virginia had beaten Duke pretty handily in Durham in the regular season, but Duke came out. Give Manny Diaz a lot of credit, man. He adjusted. He attacked that team differently. And to me, it didn't seem like Virginia was ready to play. And Duke just took that game from them in overtime.
Yeah, I thought they were going to blow it at the end there. You know, they had the lead, and then Virginia crawls back into that thing and ties it up at the end. And I'm thinking, oh, no, here we go. Virginia's going to get lucky again. 4 overtime games and 1 safety with 2 minutes left. That's how they get 5 of their wins. I mean, I'm thinking that's going to happen again. But at some point, the luck's got to run out, right? So you go to overtime, and then Duke scores first. I thought Mensah played a great game. He made some plays with his feet, and he made some with his arm. So they get the big touchdown, and then you go to the switch the ends or switch the field there, and or not the field, but the teams. And then he throws that interception on the first play on a trick play, right? And I was happy. I wanted to see Duke win. I wanted to see chaos, and we kind of got it, right? I mean, I think to me it just says that the ACC is just so far behind in some stuff. That tiebreaker system, having a team in there with 5 wins.
I thought about you all weekend. Everybody kept talking about it. I said, Burnop mentioned that 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
You cannot have that. I mean, they got to change the rules for the tiebreaker. It just needs to go to the next highest ranked team. I mean, the schedules are uneven. UVA did not play the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place team in the league. No, Georgia Tech, Clemson, Louisville. I mean, they didn't play any of those guys, right? And Duke's got 5 losses. Take it for the next ranked team, which would have been Miami. Let Miami play Virginia. So you can rest assured those tiebreaker rules are going to be changed in the ACC moving forward. That's for sure. And I loved it when Jim Phillips was up there on the stage post-game. I kept thinking, now, man, I know he had 2 ties because he had the Duke tie on.
Yeah.
What was he going to do? Like a UVA? Do you have that in his pocket?
Have an orange one too, yeah. Clip on. Yep.
I'll never forget this, Rick. When we were playing in the Independence Bowl, one of the first bowls Virginia Tech ever went to, George Allen was the governor of Virginia. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he comes into the locker room after the game. He's got his hokey tie on.
Yep.
And then we see him going out the door, and he's taking the tie off to put his UVA tie on.
I do remember that.
My gosh. I thought that's a politician, man.
You better believe it. Can't wear the other team's colors. You just beat them. Yeah.
And he was apparently going to see the rest of the UVA game, which I think might have been the same day or something.
Yeah.
But that was hilarious. But I thought about Jim Phillips there.
Yeah.
Had the blue and white on.
Yeah. And well, one thing we know, the system's going to change again. It's ridiculous. What we have in postseason college football is just the bowl system is destroyed. The playoff, nothing seems to be working other than the money that ESPN and the networks are making. That's the only thing that's consistent.
Yeah. And, the thing about it is, too, I wish I got nothing against JMU and Tulane, right? But if you put them up against those other teams, I think in 10 games, you're probably going to win 9.5 of them, right?
Right.
And I just think that what they should do if they're going to have a playoff or continue this thing is just let the Power Fours have their own playoff with 12 teams. Look how many teams got left out that are really good and could probably challenge for the national championships. The Vanderbilts, maybe the BYUs or whoever. And you're sitting there, you're putting in those other teams that let them have their own playoff. Why don't you have a playoff for those conferences, have their 12 teams in a conference, and just let the old Power Four just do their own 12 or 16 because daggone good and well you got enough to make that instead of having those 2 teams going there and JMU's going to go to Oregon. I mean, good gracious. It's hard to tell what might happen there. And I got nothing against JMU and the job they've done.
No.
But I just think that there's so many other teams that, Notre Dame's really, really good. And I'm not disappointed that they didn't get in because they're not in the conference. And I love hearing them whine and all that stuff. But, when you put them up in the head-to-head, if Miami doesn't get in, then what does that make the ACC look like? You got no team in there?
Right.
My goodness, that would have been a disaster.
It would have been. It would have been a blow they wouldn't have recovered from.
Yeah.
And it's apples and oranges too when people talk about the NCAA basketball tournament. Yeah, we know Cinderella is great in basketball in the NCAA tournament, but here that's not the same. You get 12 chances every week. Football is not the same. It's not weighed the same as the tournament. So that's an apples and oranges comparison. I saw people bringing that out, and I'm all with you. I mean, I work at a mid-major school. In basketball, we really need that opportunity. But in football, you're right. If you're going to have men, then you have to expand the thing so these other schools aren't left out. Let the G5s get their glory and go play that game. But you can't exclude teams that have to be in there. I agree.
I know. I just hope they change it to do something like that. And, what's so bad about that? You got your Power Four up there and you got your own playoff, and then the other group has their own playoff.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
It's like, makes sense.
If you want to play the two at the end of the season, go ahead, have the mini Super Bowl, right?
That's right. Yeah. Let them just have whatever it might be. Yeah.
ESPN would love that to get more money, right?
Oh, yeah. They could build that up. The champion out of each division going to play once. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, basketball is so different. But I mean, football, you think about it, every schedule with so many teams in the conference now, they're all uneven. And it's just not it's just not an ideal situation. Just like we talked about UVA not playing the second, third, fourth, and fifth place team. I mean, come on. It's just so uneven that it's out of whack, and they need to fix it. And I don't know what these people do all day behind the scenes, but that committee had a tough job.
Yeah. And I'm with you. Notre Dame is upset because they're usually being told yes. Next year, Ross Dellinger tweeted, I didn't know it existed, Mike, that they get in. If they're in the top 12, they automatically get in. Doesn't matter what their schedule look like. If they finish ranked in the top 12, they're in the playoff. I didn't know that existed until a couple of days ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like they got their own set of rules, right? They don't have to be in a conference, and they set their own TV contract to get all the money.
Right.
I mean, so leave them out. So that kind of set a tone, I thought. I thought it was kind of cool that finally, for once, they stood up to Notre Dame.
I agree 100%. And I think that's what they're upset about. That's why Bavak was going on Dan Patrick. They've called irreparable harm. Okay, but you play a few games in the ACC. They've begged you to become a full member since you joined in all other sports. They've begged you, and you've always kind of scoffed at it, right?
Yeah, and who took care of them during the COVID time, right? Let them have football games, and they were in all the other conferences. I mean, they were destined to have a nothing season, right? And the ACC kind of bailed them out back then. So
100%.
Yeah. So, I got no love lost for them, just because the way they act. And I love some of the tweets that came out yesterday that, play like a champion today. And they had all those things up there. Every one of them. Just quit.
Just quit. Just pick up your ball and go home if you don't get what you want. Yeah.
Don't go to a bowl game. Just quit.
Just quit. Just quit. Well, and the ACC still does them a favor, Mike, because they can't leave because they're supplanting. Look at all the what they're providing in terms of the Olympic sports schedules and giving those kids a chance to play for a conference championship. What are they going to do? Leave the ACC and take all that away, and then you have all these empty schedules? No, they can't do that. They can't afford to do that.
No, they couldn't. It would take them a long, long time to get that figured out and fixed. Yeah, no doubt about it. So, yep. I thought it was kind of fun. I wanted chaos. We got chaos. I loved it.
I'm like you. Isn't that funny? I'm the same way. I wanted everything just to implode, and that's exactly what's happening before our eyes. Yeah.
And that Ohio State-Indiana game was pretty good too, wasn't it? Man, oh, man. Those two teams are good.
They are good. It's hard to quantify what Kurt Cignetti is doing. I don't think we've ever seen – Mike, you've done this so long. Have you seen anything like this? That's a program that had nothing. And here he is. It's incredible what he's done. It may be the most incredible coaching job of the last 25, 30 years.
And it's unbelievable. He's got a great quarterback, right, Mendoza. But was that stat true that they'd beaten Ohio State? Had beaten them like 88 straight times or something?
Yeah, it was
some crazy
ridiculous.
Number like that.
Something absolutely ridiculous, yeah.
And then the one that really counted, not that it really counted that much, they flipped seeds, right? 1-2 to 2-1. So it wasn't that big a deal. They'll still probably maybe have to play when it's all said and done. Who knows? But that was a heck of a game.
It was a good game. The only thing it did was basically Mendoza's probably going to win the Heisman now. But then again, the Heisman's just a quarterback running back award anyway. It's all it is.
Well, that's the thing. And everybody keeps talking about the Vanderbilt people about Pavia. Well, yeah, he's a great quarterback, but they lost a couple games. I mean, you look at what Mendoza's done. I see it's hard to vote against that guy.
Yeah, he won it with that drive at Penn State, in my opinion.
Yeah,
that was
that
for
throw
the
at the end, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I
I was
think,
pulling for Penn State there.
Yeah, right. And then all of a sudden they pulled that game out of the fire. So
Yeah.
Well, it is crazy, and we'll see how it goes. When you see all this going on, for me, right now I'm having a difficult time getting excited about the postseason. I'm sure that'll come. All these teams opting out of bowl games. Do you think that the bowl part of this, take the playoff out, Mike, is in some serious danger now? Or can you figure out a way to incorporate the bowls even more in what's going on with the what's going to be an expanded postseason?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to do that because, so many of these teams opted out because of the coaching change and the players opting out. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. This is obviously more than it's ever been. And you wondered if they were going to have enough teams to even qualify with enough winning records because of so many opt-outs. But it's a system that's kind of messed up, and I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe to play the bowl games at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And then just have the playoff at the end and forget them. But ESPN would never let that happen, right?
I know.
Because they got to have the inventory. And so I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but it's sad. I mean, it's sad to see like teams like when Virginia Tech went and played Maryland in the Pinstripe Bowl and had their like 4th-string quarterback in there.
I know.
I mean, that's just no fun. It's no fun for the players, the fans, the TV audience. I mean, what good does that do you? I mean, you get 3 extra weeks of practice and you got a new coach. I mean, come on. I mean, what? Yeah, I don't. It's a messed up system.
It is a messed up system. And that's a great point. I mean, you're right. All arguments are off now because ESPN's, and they're not going to allow it to happen. You're right. They have to have that postseason build up to the playoff that they help create. That's why you'll never see it. They won't be able to move the bowls. That's a great point. It's a great point.
Yeah.
Louise Baker, Mike.
Louise, my girl, Louise, she's the best.
Yeah.
And I know that she's loving it. The start of the year is going to come around. Interest rates may still drop a little bit more, but she's got the inventory. She's got the knowledge. She knows the New River Valley better than probably anybody.
She does.
So we're happy for her and want to wish her happy holidays for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead. What was your comment? You were saying you're looking forward to what were you looking forward to?
I was looking forward to the portal opening because I'm anxious to see what happens with some of those players at Penn State. Yeah, they got their new coach and all that, but how many of those guys want to stay? How many is Matt Campbell going to bring from his place? How many of them want to stay at Penn State? How many of them want to go with James Franklin? And I know he's working hard on that roster to see, okay, this is where we have needs. Looks like he took care of the lines pretty good, but there's a lot more out there. And so I'm anxious to see when that portal opens up the 1st of January, what's going to happen and how that's going to impact this team at Virginia Tech going forward.
And how many guys he has to have that, as Brent Pry used to say, and he said it right, that difficult conversation where you're going to have to meet with guys and say, you probably need to go ahead and hit the portal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so Tech's going to have some guys go in because that's what the staff is doing now. They're evaluating daily. You don't think they're looking at every player on this roster? Of course they are. So it's going to be wild. You're right. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And then, you got to get the guys that fit the piece to the puzzle, right? Get them in here and just let them go. And that spring practice is going to be exciting and interesting. And when our workouts are, it's going to be fun to watch this thing develop.
Well, I'm glad for you, my friend, that you get to kind of just do basketball now and watch and everything else develops. So good for you. Good for you. Got some home games coming up. Is it just one more road game in December for y'all?
No more road games in December.
No more road games.
No.
Look at you.
Yeah, we're in good shape. We got this thing. I think we play Thursday, Sunday, and then the next Saturday, and then UVA at the 31st. So, a little break in the action. Yeah. How about you guys? Wow. You got to travel anymore?
Just once. We go up to William and Mary in week and a half. But, everything else is at home. No, and everything else is at home. So, and then we do the same thing. First conference game on the road, New Year's Eve. And that's, same thing.
Yeah. I think we go to Wake Forest right after New Year's. And then we start that road trip. We got to go to SMU. That'll be our far away road trip this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, my friend. Fun. Yeah. Dallas is, it's a good play. You've been there many times, I know. So you'll have fun down there.
Trying to get Coach Fuente to come. He's down there. He was on that committee. I'd love to pick his brain a little bit.
Oh, it'd be good.
But they live right outside Dallas, and I got my Christmas card from them the other day, and texting them back and forth, and they're going to try to come to the game. I think it's January 14th or 15th, something like that. So it'd be great to catch up with him a little bit.
Yeah, we can get some good insight there. That'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good. All right, my friend. Well, listen, enjoy your week and a little bit of rest there, and at least in terms of your basketball and football travel. So
yeah, be fun. Got a couple parties to go to. Looking forward to that. And,
good.
Yeah, eat, drink, and be merry, my man.
You do that well, my friend.
And try to stay warm.
Try to stay warm. All right, brother. Take care of yourself. Stay safe.
Hi, Rick. Sounds good.
All right, great stuff from Mike Burnop. Party time. And again, thanks to Louise Baker, the Louise Baker team. Long and Foster Realtors, 540-320-0382. Good stuff there from Mike. And what do you think? You don't say that name, Justin Fuente. I might get trauma. It's good. Mike still has a good relationship with it. I forgot he was on the whole committee thing. Oregon average snowfall is 375 inches. Is it really? Wow. Annually? JMU plays Oregon and Eugene. Will Karma make the scene? 375. Whoa. That's incredible. I believe it. Every time you see a game there, it's snowing. Interesting that they've closed off Merriman. Yeah, that's interesting that you can't walk through there now. Wow. That is very interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, as Mike confirmed, there's a whole lot going on there. A lot that, I'm sure Mike could add that, I'm not going to. I can still have Fuente quotes on audio. Yeah, if I can find them. I don't know where those are. The only one I really want is the ludicrous. What was it? Ludicrous crap. That's the one I would like to have. Yeah. But yeah, I could play that. I could play that. Absolutely. That was the best one because I still have the old my guy.
Oh my! Oh no! Oh no! That was out of nowhere.
Yeah. Still got that guy. Oh yeah, the backside. Yeah. He was talking about blocking schemes. Something like coaching them come in on the front side, they were coming in on the back side or something like that. It was something of that nature. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff today. Wow, 375. Hey, I can't be wrong. It's a lot. Let me do it right now. Hey, Siri. What's the annual snowfall in the state of Oregon? I'm going to try it too. Here we go.
Here's an answer from Trover.com
Oh.
and communityliteracy.org.
Oregon receives between, wait a minute, this makes no sense, 15 to 40 inches of snow each year. The Cascade Range of Oregon, there you go. There's the 300 whatever. So it's a different part of Oregon. Okay. Either way, I think it's right. Either way. I will do, you know what? I'll do that today. I'll do a bowl challenge sign-up thing for us. I'll put it on the Facebook page, and I'll bring the link in here tomorrow. You go in and pick the bowls. Pick a winner. I'll talk to our sponsors and see if we can come up with some cool prize packs for everybody. How's that? Yeah. I know we can do some stuff with the bowling alley. It's where you really need a restaurant. I wish we need to find a restaurant sponsorship. We could do a lot with that. So I'll do that today. I've had a lot of people ask. So I will do that today. Let me know if you want a t-shirt. They're here. I still have them. Yeah, we'll throw in a Big Dog t-shirt. Sure. Yeah, that'll be thrown in as well. Yeah. But we'll come up with a prize pack, and I'm sure I'll get assistance from our sponsors, whatever that might be. Absolutely. Brandon at Top Shelf. We'll do something. But I'll do that today. It'll be under the I'll just tell you now to give you a little bit of a head start. ESPN Fantasy Games. It'll be under Bowl Mania. I think that's what it's called. But I will do that this morning when I get to Radford. I'll have it up on our Facebook page. I'll pin it to the top so it's easy to get to. There won't be a password. And you can just join, and we'll pick all the bowl games. And then, even though the postseasons, we don't care about it much, at least it's football. At least it's games to watch, right? Let's put all the politics aside. Maybe we can just enjoy the games. And if you're picking games, it gives you more interest. And we're not betting or anything like that, We're just picking the games, and whoever has the best record. And if it comes down to a tie, though, I think they do a tiebreaker on the national championship game. So however you look it out on the playoff. But we'll see what it looks like this year. And that's the way we'll do it. Anyway, I don't know. I'll create it today. I have not looked at it yet. But I've gotten probably 24 requests for it. So that's a lot. That's a lot of peeps. So we'll do it. We'll do it. We need a Creed count. I agree with you. What I'd like to do sometime is to have a Creed put a little camera on their head and have a 5-way tiebreaker. Oh, well played, Matthew. No, Jim Phillips and the ACC will not decide our tiebreaker here on BDST Bowl Mania. Best audience on YouTube. That was well done. But yeah, I would love to have a Creed cam and we could go live to it during the show when he's out there. Oh, yeah. I've always wanted to do that. Like when that guy comes in and he's got blood all over his mane down here, where I know, at first you see it and you go, oh, no, he's hurt. And you realize, oh, wait a minute. He's licking it off his paws. He's been successful on the latest hunt. That was well played, Matthew. Yeah, that was funny. Good stuff. Good stuff. But I'll do that today. But we do want to thank NRV Super Bowl, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, Harvey's GM, Brandon at Top Shelf, Montgomery County Chamber, Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated, National Bank member FDIC, Ryan Pry, the attorney, with our fan question of the week, Little River Heating and Air, here in Christiansburg, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, Louise Baker, Long and Foster, Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, and Family Fencing, all of our sponsors here on the program. But yeah, we'll do that today and get that up to you. Thanks for asking. Because I've been so down on the postseason, I wasn't going to do one. But if that's what the peeps want, that's what the peeps are going to get. And yeah, I'll be in there too. And I think all you're doing is picking bowl winners. I don't know if it has a section now for the playoff, like to pick. I don't know. I haven't done it. I didn't do it last year. So I don't know what they've done with the bowls and the playoffs. I'll look at it and see, but it'll be up. It'll have instructions, and you can just join starting today, okay? And I'll probably just name it Big Dog Sports Talk. I don't know. We'll see. Probably Big Dog Sports Talk 2025 or something. But you'll see it. You'll see it. We will leave Paul out of bowl picks. I still like the 5-way tiebreaker comment. All right, everybody be safe. I can tell right now, like right today, it's more treacherous out in my parking space than it was yesterday because you got frozen stuff now. Got to clean off the Jeep. Got to get down the road to work because we're opening on time today. Everybody be safe. Stay warm. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow on the Hump Day Wednesday edition. Thanks to Marva. Thanks to Brian Seigla today. And thanks to Mike Burnop. Thanks for the great time in chat. Man, it's always so much fun. Even you bots that I have to eliminate, thank you for taking the time to bot up the show. Because that means we're relevant. And thanks to everybody on the Professional Door text line. Great stuff as always. To stay safe, everyone. And I'll get you all the Bowl Mania information today on the Facebook page, and we'll have it tomorrow. And we'll hopefully see you all again tomorrow here on the program in chat and elsewhere. Please remember, subscribe, like, and share. Let's get it on up to 1,000, everybody. Take care. We'll see you.